Hello and welcome back to NHB Retro. I had such a good time working on that Apple IIe a week ago or so. I thought, what the heck, let's pull out another Apple II project that I have never gotten around to addressing and get it running too. I think this one's not going to be terribly challenging either. So as you can see, we have a 2C. It has at least one obvious keyboard issue. In addition to missing the space bar, these keys are very, very sticky, some of them. So we're going to try to see what we can do about that. I have another keyboard that I could use, which is the way I'm leaning towards, just because it already has the space bar and everything on it. There's said keyboard. It too has some slightly sticky keys. Actually feels a lot better than the one that's in there right now. So yeah, probably we're just going to switch out to this one. Not too much extra information here. Anyway, let's see. The computer has a couple other issues though. When I first got it, I plugged it into the composite output and nothing came out. Right now, let's just go ahead and boot. As you can probably see, it has a very dim output on the composite monitor. And if you move the cable around, it varies between nothing and rolling and an okay picture. Actually, that looks pretty good right there. Let me see what this, you can get a catalog. So yeah, I suspect that plug is just either really filthy or needs to be replaced or adjusted. So let's go ahead and take the computer apart, get ready to replace the keyboard, and then we'll see what needs to be done with that video jack to get the video looking better. And while we're in there, just see what else is going on, if anything. All right, I'll bring you back and we'll get that case off. Easier to take apart than this. Okay, got the case off finally. That was a little bit tricky. Certainly fought me all the way. Let's see now. I think we can probably remove the keyboard. Let me just take a real quick look at my other keyboard, just see exactly what I'm dealing with. Right. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Let's go ahead and remove the disk drive. So a little cable here, and then 4 screws here. All right, that should be effectively out of there now. Can remove that, set it aside. Okay, now I'm seeing something interesting. So my other Apple IIc keyboard, which I have ready to use, looks like whoever used it just ripped this connector off rather than unplugging it from the board. So that might not work out for us too well. Come on, you. Get out of there. There it goes. Yeah, this end of the cable is a connector, but this end of the connector is attached, I think. I don't think that's supposed to come off, and yet it's off on my other keyboard, so that might be a problem. So let's look at what we have here. It's looking pretty clean. I believe this is a ROM 255, so the original ROM. That might be something that we want to upgrade at some point. Let's go ahead and just get the motherboard out of the case. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that, because I think we want to take a look at the other side of this and make sure the output jack is still has good solder joints and all that. So a few more screws, get this thing all the way out of the case. Trying to keep track of all the screws, which is an endless battle in retro computing. Okay, is that it, or do we have one more? Where do those go? Oh, okay. Probably have to take out, yeah, okay. The power supply has to come out first as well. Do that since it screws directly to the case. I believe these just kind of walk out. Can you tell I haven't taken apart very many Apple IIcs? I think that's just in there, right? Am I missing something that's still attached? Ah, okay, got it. So that is separate. So how does that come out? So the power supply is disconnected, but this shield is holding it in. There must be a connector I'm not seeing here somewhere. All right, I'll be right back. We'll get this out of here, I swear. Okay, finally, after much careful prying and prodding, motherboard's out of the case. The power supply proved to be somewhat difficult to get out just because it's stuck. Like right here, you can see, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be adhesive or if that rubber just sort of over time glued itself to the bottom of that. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. Now the bit we're really interested in here is checking out this connector. Okay, got these. Okay, looking close up with the microscope, I didn't see any dry solder joints or anything, broken solder joints or anything like that. This barrel is just a tiny bit, well, it's actually fairly corroded. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of deoxit, or a lot of deoxit, on it, and then just use a little teeny bit of some 220 sandpaper and make sure I have a good clean surface on this. I don't want to remove really any metal, just that layer of oxide that has built up. And let's see if we can, then we'll test the connectivity. Probably should have done that first, but I don't know. Let's just see if this gets us anywhere. And then I'll get it put back together, and we'll check out that video. I've got the 2C put mostly back together. So for the keyboard, my original plan was to use that other keyboard that was complete, had a spacebar. However, given that the cable, I didn't realize that the cable actually had been the connector had been, the top of it was missing, and as well as the cable. So I just actually ended up taking the spacebar off of that other one and putting it on here. And frankly, this one, except for some kind of weird rubbery feeling, feels much better than the other one anyway. And it all seems to be working. The keys themselves are very dirty, and the rubber mat underneath here has degraded, and I'm kind of torn whether I'm going to just take that mat out completely. It gives it kind of a spongy feel because this rubber mat is pushing up against there. Anyway, I've got some hot soapy water here. Let's just pull all the keys off, put them in the water, let them soak a little bit, and then I'll think about what to do about this rubber mat. So here's a look at that mat that has, it's pretty much fallen apart. There's actually two mats under this keyboard. There's this rubber one, which I guess is meant to give it a bit of a, I don't know, it's really thin. Maybe that gave it just a little bit of a kind of bouncy feel to it, the keys. Not sure. Anyway, it's really degraded. The part under it clearly has seen some better days as well, but I don't think that's what makes, like you can see here, the way that this rubber has shrunk over the years, some of these little dome features kind of don't sit down underneath the keys the way they used to. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm just gonna try taking this mat off. You notice I didn't remove the spacebar, by the way, just because it's such a pain to take off, and it seems rather fragile, and right now that's the only one that I have, and it's working, so I'm just going to leave that on and clean it in situ. But yeah, this mat, I think, is the main thing that needs to get addressed. So yeah, I'm going to take that off, and then brush the keys a little bit, get them clean, and I'll let you know where we end up. Okay, here's the Apple IIc all back together. It definitely needs some retro writing. The case has yellowed significantly over the years. I ended up putting the keyboard together without the mat. The mat had just pretty much disintegrated and small pieces were starting to fall out. So yeah, the keyboard still kind of feels a little bit mushy. There's a second mat underneath there that is a little bit also, I would say, warped and distorted just by time, and it kind of makes some of the keys feel mushier than they should, but they all work, I believe. Yep, there you go. So yeah, that was pretty successful. The video output, I think, is better, but honestly, if you jiggle that output around, the cord around, it'll still do some weird things. I need to look at that more, I guess. There's also an issue on this particular machine with the volume control. It's not always, it seems like it wants to be either full volume or completely cut out. So there are still some things to work on, but basically it's working a lot better than it was. It has a space bar now. The keyboard cleaned up really nicely. Kind of now is guilting me into wanting to clean the rest of that case. To be really frank, taking this case apart is so nerve-wracking. I'm always afraid I'm going to break the plastic. So I'm somewhat reluctant to do that, but who knows? Maybe in the future that'll be a fun project. So hopefully you enjoyed sort of this, I don't know, very basic repairing of an Apple II keyboard. The computer was basically working. The video output was weak. It's better now, I'm going to say. And the keyboard is now functional and cleaner. So yeah, I've got some other interesting videos coming up. I'm going to be doing some somewhat off the beaten path computers. Not that I don't love these Apple IIs. I really, really do. But yeah, I've got some other interesting stuff coming. So hopefully you'll enjoy those as well. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.